Was good living with you.
Fast Times, Chopping Mall, and Commando was all filmed at the same mall. Hello, and welcome to Personal Records with Scott and Chris.
Today, we're doing one of the greatest years of all time, 1996.
So today's episode is very, very special to both Scott and I because this is the year 1996, which is, being in 2026, is 30 years.
Yeah.
We were graduating high school. We were moving from 17 to 18, becoming somewhat of young men. But
Somewhat. Key on the word somewhat.
Somewhat, but 96 has a special place in both of our lives. And these records that we get to choose from are huge. So today we're going to be drafting records from 1996.
Yep. So the only draft we've done before was 1987, which was a huge heavy hitter year. Mm-hmm. But
and Scott laughed in my face. I remember that very, very clearly.
A couple times, actually.
Yes, very nice.
And as I explained many times, it wasn't coming from a hateful place. It was just a surprise.
Cool.
But 96, if I think back and I go, what are some huge years just in my life? What are like the best years of my life? Big, epic years. I would say the first one I think of, well, not 1978 when I was born, because I don't remember a whole lot about that. But 1984 was a big one. I remember that. I just, at the time, knowing like, 1984, something's happening. It is a big year. And that was a great, good, awesome year. Then maybe like 1990. But like nothing compares to 96 for me. Like 96, like you said, it's like, I think most people, if you look back, okay, the year you graduated high school, and then if you went on to college, or even if you didn't, that first year where you're like, oh, I guess I'm supposed to be an adult now, is huge. But not everybody got to have freaking 1996 as that year. Right. When it comes to music, it's unreal. So whereas in 1987, we did the draft, we're picking stuff like, Appetite for Destruction and Hysteria and, the Joshua Tree, these like big 87 albums. I have a feeling that this one's going to be a little more personal, and there are going to be probably some big albums that people have heard of, and then other ones that we're going to have to explain why we're drafting them. So it's going to be, I'm really excited for this.
Well, also, I think this is very, very cool is because I think both of us, we have a connection with 96 because from 95 to 96, this is when we also started like going to concerts. Like we were going to shows. Like we went and saw, back in, anyway, we'll talk about concerts at one point, but this is where I started being very in tune with live music, wanting being able to see bands, and I think that was also a big thing because I want to say between 95 and 96 I know that is when I could say that I was a concert attendee, going to small shows, going to Hampton Coliseum, going to the Boathouse, hitting Peabody's at the oceanfront, where different.
You got to go. I remember being jealous because you went to a couple shows, like you went to Peabody's, you did a couple of things that I did not get to do or didn't do for whatever reason. And I was so jealous. But then we went, I remember going to, was it called Town Point Park, and seeing the box, Candlebox.
So
Logan was talking about Candlebox. And I was like, I think that was one of my, maybe the first show I've ever went to. I mean, not including like stuff that was at church, which not sure how to categorize some of those shows where Christian artists would come to the church. But I'm sure we'll do another episode about shows. But I remember being at Waterside, and there was like a reggae-ish type of band playing at some place there, and I just remember hearing it out of the speakers. I was like, I was probably in 10th grade or whatever, so it was before 96, but just feeling like, oh, the power of live music on speakers. So it's a good point, Chris. We're going from being like the music nerds that are just like trying to pass tapes around and things like that to actually being able to see live music.
Right.
So, all right, well, we have to figure out, so the way the draft is going to work is we do a snake draft because that's really the only way to keep it fair. And we're going to flip a coin, and we're going to see how many times it takes us to do it correctly. and whoever wins the coin toss can choose either to have the first pick or the second pick. Now, the way that the picks work are you get whoever gets the first pick, that's a big deal. Then the next person gets 2 and 3, and then that goes to 4 and 5, yada, yada, yada. So all the way till the end. And we're going to really try to get it right because last time I got all confused on what pick we were on. So, Chris, you want to flip and I'll call it?
Yeah, I'm going to do this on camera, and there's more than a 80% chance that I'm going to screw this up.
You got this.
So I apologize. So you're going to call it in the air.
I'll call it in the air.
And then we'll see what happens. Okay,
all right.
So here we go.
Yep. Go tails, never fails.
You said tails never fails? All right, it's tails.
It is tails? Okay.
All right.
I should have thought about this ahead of time.
All right, so Scott.
I'm actually really thinking about taking number 1.
I think you should do it. I think that's a good move.
See now.
No, I think it's a good because this is smart because I've thought about this. Like,
there are 2 that I really, really want.
I get that.
So if I knew what you were taking 1, I am going to go ahead and take the number 1 pick.
Okay. All right.
And I'm going to risk losing a beloved album.
Okay.
Of mine. But I am going to take the one that I know we both love.
Okay.
And so this one might hurt, but I am going to take Pinkerton as number 1 for 1996. Pinkerton is my favorite Weezer album, even more than the Blue album. Pinkerton is a record that I did not get when it first came out because I wanted Blue number 2. And the first song I heard was El Scorcho. I think that was the single that they dropped. And I was like, I didn't like it. I straight up didn't like it. But as the years went on, I appreciated it. I remember it wasn't really until I want to say 2000 when I illegally downloaded it, if I'm being honest, off of like BearShare or something, and started hearing all the other songs on it because I never had the CD. And it's just just Tired of Sex, A Good Life. I mean, freaking Pink Triangle is amazing. Across the Sea, it just every song is so good. I remember listening to it in the car with you later, like once I'd moved to Richmond. I think you were here one time and we were listening to it and we were both kind of like talking about how we'd come to really appreciate Pinkerton. Because I want to say, I want to hear you talk about Pinkerton. Were you like me where when it first came out, you were kind of like not sure about it?
Yeah, but what was interesting is I remember like I was at college and my memory is, I think so, but I want to say Mike Jones had it.
That makes sense.
I think he played it.
So shout out to Mike Jones, right? Because he had those CD booklets, and I remember he had Third Eye Blind in there because we listened to that a lot. We used to raid his CD booklets, but a lot of the stuff that when we're trying to remember, like, wow, how do we know about this? Mike had it. So I think, and I also remember he had G Love and Special Sauce too.
Right.
Big so but yeah, he probably did.
I want to say that was probably because really at this time, when the Blue Album came out in 94, at this time from 96, my hand is in everything. I'm all over the place. So I would definitely say because I don't think there was too much noise coming out of Pinkerton when it came out because but it was definitely an album that grew. I love it. And you got a great pick with taking Pinkerton at 1.
Thank you.
So good.
Was it going to be your number 1?
It was not.
Crap.
All right. So, my first pick out of the draft of 1996 is going to be Alice in Chains Unplugged. It came out July 30th of 1996.
Okay. I thought you were going to have Pinkerton above Alice in Chains, but I really wanted that Alice in Chains. But anyway. Okay. Good job.
This album is just sick. I mean, like, for example, No Excuses. I think Sludge Factory off on this is like one of my favorite songs, specifically because you listen off the other album, it's pretty good, but I think how they dolled it up. And then Heaven Beside You. I love Alice in Chains, but I didn't know if this was going to technically count as a record. So I didn't know if you were going to.
I thought about that for a second, but I was like, nope.
I don't know if you were going to dispute it, but I remember in the summertime after work, at Maple Tree. I remember leaving, and I won't say it wasn't July 30th, but I know it was that summer that I went and I picked it up at Lynn Haven Mall. And I remember, anyway, but
Yeah.
so my first pick would be Unplugged, Alice in Chains, because I even have it on digital Apple TV. I watch it all the time. It's pretty cool. Because what's also nuts is I think Lane passed not too far after that recording of that anyway.
Very shortly.
So, yeah. All right. So now I'm going to go to my number 2.
I would like to talk about.
Oh, okay. My bad. I apologize.
I want to say my reaction to that was because that really is my number 1, but I underestimated that you would pick that, as I thought you were going to take Pinkerton, and I thought I might be safe with the Alice in Chains. This is one of my favorite albums of all time. Easily. It's easily one of my most listened to albums of all time. And I am with you. If you watch it versus listen to it. So I think about college. I didn't know any of the backstory. I didn't know what was going on with Lane. I just know that we all loved this. Like Adam loved it. Like everybody loved it. And just hearing like the Nutshell, Down in a Hole, even like The Killer Is Me, which I think was like previously an unreleased song. I don't think that was on any of their other albums. Such a tremendous performance. But then I'd say about 5 years ago, after years and years of listening to this album, I decided to watch it. Ooh, it's a whole nother thing, man. When you watch Lane singing these songs, he's sick, clearly sick. I don't know how they got him on the stage, and the performance is very intense and like emotional, like when you watch it. So really great pick. Now from here on out, I swear to God, there's another one that if you take right now, I've already lost the whole thing. And so I can't wait to hear what you're going to take with your second pick.
All right. Well,
the number 3 overall.
I just want to say one more thing about Alice in Chains Unplugged. I think what was so cool about it is that with all their albums, they were able to take that, strip it down. And to be honest with you, some of the songs sound better.
Oh, hands down.
And which is nuts to say that, but it is the absolute truth.
If I remember correctly, they really hadn't like rehearsed or anything. But they just kind of showed up, and I'm sure they did some rehearsals. But
you're right though, because from what I understand, that this was a really trying time for them because of what was going on with Lane. 100%. Like it was like, is he going to show up? Is he going to be well enough? Is he going to be able to perform? Because there was a huge absence up to leading up to doing this Unplugged. And
that's right. And Jerry Cantrell's the man, and he's awesome. But like, and I love a couple of their recent records. Rainier Fog, incredible. Right. But Lane was kind of the secret sauce that you couldn't replace. Right. Imagine being that band. Imagine being Jerry, and you've got these great songs, and you've got this wonderful. You're peaking. You've reached rock stardom, and you're in your prime. But unfortunately, you've got somebody battling addiction and losing. Yeah. Brutal. Yeah. If you go back and you listen to some of the whenever there are interviews where Jerry talks about this, he's so, I guess, generous with how he treats Lane and how he talks about him, and they really love that guy. Yep. And all right, so okay, let's see what you're gonna do now.
All right, so my second pick for Team Chris is gonna be Goldfinger.
Okay, I can live with that. Okay, you deserve that one. Okay,
so Goldfinger came out February 27th of 1996. For 1996 for us, this was such a great. We got this on tape. Yep. And we passed this around, and this is where I would say, like, which is weird, is because I've never considered Goldfinger to be any type of ska, because this album had some horns, whatever, but they were a true punk, rock, whatever.
We didn't really know, or at least I really didn't know what ska was. I don't think when this came out, or maybe
this was still kind of the hype of, the Bostons were already doing well, right? And the ska wave was coming. But when we got this, like I said, there's only a little bit of it, but for the most part, this is it's a ripper of a record.
No bad tracks. The thing, they're funny, right? I mean, Mabel, come on,
yeah.
I mean,
so when you listen to Stay, Anxiety, Miles Away, and of course Pictures. This is one of my favorite records of all time. It's in this room. I should have probably slapped it up there, but I loved Goldfinger. It was a huge part of my senior year of high school.
Now, did you, like me, learn about them through Here in Your Bedroom? Because that video and that, yeah. I mean, that was one of those ones, man. Back in the day, when you heard the song, you were like, "Oh, okay, this is my jam." First time through, you hear that. Da, 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 you know, I can't do it. The little beat to kick it off. And that was a phenomenal song. They had so much energy.
Right.
Feldman, is that his name? John Feldman. His voice is great. And you know, Goldfinger went on to make a bunch of really good albums and songs.
And they still put out some stuff today, which is really, really cool.
Yeah,
So,
I will. They're like kind of like a rare band that I'll just put on their top tracks sometimes and just listen through. So, man, really good call on that. I had a feeling you would end up with that one as much as I love it. I think this is a Chris tape for me, a Chris album for me. All right. So you got right off the bat, Alice in Chains, Unplugged, and Goldfinger. So I had Pinkerton. So what I'm going to take here is I'm going to take Evil Empire by Rage Against the Machine. So Rage Against the Machine had put out their debut album, which is one of the great debut albums. We've talked about that in one of our episodes. The anticipation for this album was huge. Just personally for me and probably you and everybody else, because we all knew that there was nothing like Rage Against the Machine. I was looking for other bands that might sound like Rage Against the Machine just because I was trying to chase that vibe, but nobody else did anything like that. Evil Empire came out. I don't know if I got the CD. I think I got the CD. I remember listening to it in your bedroom and being absolutely blown away when the first time, because I heard, I could be wrong about this, but I feel like I heard Bulls on Parade from the album before it was at like on MTV or anywhere else. It was like you put on the Evil Empire and you get People of the Sun, and then you get track 2, Bulls on Parade. And I mean, you put yourself back in the shoes of being 18 years old and hearing Bulls on Parade for the first time. What a song. It had Rolling Down Rodeo with the Shotgun. I mean, just track after track after track. And it is my favorite Rage Against the Machine album by far, as great as the first one is. So Bulls on Parade, I feel good about that one. Any thoughts on Bulls on Parade before I... No. Did you even have them on your list? Okay.
I was, like I said, I never really gotten to Rage. I know that we listened to it, but I don't think I've ever owned their stuff or whatever like that. But I do remember the yellow record with the kid with the little superhero. It was a sick, iconic, album cover.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The album cover is awesome. All right. So for my third pick, I'm going to take Recovering the Satellites by Counting Crows. Again, these top few ones I could really sort of interchange, but Counting Crows I loved. I don't think you were a Counting Crows fan. Adam wasn't a Counting Crows fan. This was the band that was where I started breaking off, I think, from a lot of you guys. We liked so much of the same stuff, but August and Everything After, I had gotten that tape. Rachel Martin, I don't know if you remember Rachel Martin from high school, but she was one of my best friends, and she bought me that tape for my birthday, which was so cool. And I bought her Siamese Dream. And I used to listen to, I'm talking about August and Everything After now, their first album. I used to listen to that on tape while delivering my newspapers in the morning. And so I loved that album. And I remember when the Recovering the Satellites was about to come out, they had their video for Angels of the Silences out. And it was so different because it's so more upbeat. And I was like, this is so cool. This is Counting Crows, but they're doing a fast paced, more lively song. And then, so when CD came out, I got it. You probably remember I played that thing in our dorm room
We went to
constantly.
bed a lot at night listening to that album. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good sleep album too.
Yeah, I mean, just the songs on there, which just right off the bat, of course, you have Long December, which is probably their most popular song. You have, dude, what is the name of the first song on the album? I'm totally blanking on it. Catapult, right? I think it's Catapult. But yeah, I love that album. So I could have taken some other things, but because of how much I do love it, I'm taking it at number 3. So now, Chris, you're up on your number 3 pick.
All right. This is probably not a surprise to you at all, but my third pick is going to be from the band Korn, Life is Peachy.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
So when I was in high school, there was a kid that went to my school. He was a new student, kind of befriended him, talked to him, and he told me all about Korn, self-titled. And then he actually let me borrow this, back in this was like 95, and that came out before. So and I really got into Korn. I really loved Korn. But then when, in October 15, 1996, when Life is Peachy came out, I was pumped. Specifically, I was very, very pumped. And when I got it, I liked it. But I will say this was the record that I could say, I like these songs. I don't like those. That was kind of a big thing. But very, very cool record. Once again, it was produced by Ross Robinson. It definitely, once again, was a big album for them. But Life is Peachy was a really good record. One of the cool things I loved is they covered Wicked by Ice Cube, and they had Sheena from the Deftones on it. Mm-hmm. So it was very, very cool. They also covered Low Rider was on it. But anyway, this was a very, very cool record, and I really, really enjoyed it. So yeah, so Life is Peachy was, their sophomore album. But yeah. So
what's fun about this draft is we're seeing again our divergence in it's taking me back to the year. It's taking me back to remembering how into Korn you were, and I liked Korn. I mean, you introduced me to Korn, and when I heard Blind for the first time, it was so sick. Some of those songs on Life is Peachy were so sick, but I never fully embraced Korn. I was sort of like, okay, they're cool.
Right.
But
that's what about this record is that Life is Peachy. Like I said, I don't like all the songs off of it. I'll say that there's like a cluster of ones that I really like, and that's what I kind of listen to.
Yeah. No, I'm not surprised,
Yeah.
and that's a great pick.
All right.
What you got next?
My fourth pick is going to be Wild Mood Swings by The Cure.
Okay.
Which came out in May 6th of 1996. So really like this album for a variety of reasons. Mint Car, what a great song. But the song Want, the 13th, Strange Attraction, and the song Gone. Man, this is a very, very cool record. So if you listen to The Cure, if you go back and check out Wild Mood Swings, it is something that it's a very, very awesome record. So,
okay.
I know that they have a ton of records, and people are like, oh, well, no, this isn't like this album. They always change, but this is a really, really cool record. So I really enjoy this record.
Yeah, I think The Cure is one where over time you appreciate each record in its own right. Kind of like we're talking about with Pinkerton. When it first comes out, you're like, oh wait, I wanted this. And then over time you're like, oh, this is awesome. I think the Cure has some element of that too.
Yeah.
So Chris, you've got Alice in Chains, Goldfinger, Korn, and The Cure. That's pretty solid, man.
So what's nuts is I'm going in order.
Yeah.
Which I did not think I would be at all.
You're going in order of what you had. You haven't had to miss one.
I haven't had to miss one.
The only one I haven't gotten obviously is the Alice in Chains one. But I am and probably is because I'm trying to game this and I'm messing myself up because you were gonna get one of those two. So anyway, my fourth pick is going to be No Code by Pearl Jam.
Gotcha.
Hands down, one of my favorite Pearl Jam albums. I remember buying this at the mall in Lynchburg, what was it called? The River Ridge Mall or something. Whatever.
Isn't that Fast Times?
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
I really don't know. It was
the Lynchburg Mall, and they had
I got a fun fact.
Yeah,
I'm so
hit
sorry.
me. No, hit me.
You know, Chopping Mall, right?
Yeah.
So, Fast Times, Chopping Mall,
No way.
and Commando was all filmed at the same mall, which is in Sherman Oaks,
Has to be. Yeah.
California.
In
So I'm so
California.
sorry. This has nothing to
No,
do with.
that's a great.
So my
No,
bad.
no, no, no,
Sorry.
no,
My
dude.
bad.
Bring that knowledge. Chopping Mall, Fast Times, and Commando, which I love Commando.
I'd love Commando.
Holy crap. I love all those movies. Same mall. You
All
don't
same
say.
mall. So if when we should get together and watch all three in a row, and we can just. And it was a fantastic mall, by the way. They had great stores.
Yeah. I miss a good mall.
Yeah. All right. So I didn't mean to derail stuff.
You're
so
good.
is No Code following Pearl Jam 10?
No. So it goes 10, then Versus, then Vitalogy,
Oh wow.
and then No Code.
Okay, because that's right. Because Pearl Jam 10 came out in '91.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
I was still
and
thinking
and
that.
Pearl Jam, you know this. Pearl Jam was like my official favorite band, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know how this is my favorite band. They were my favorite band all the way up for a few years up, so probably from the time I was in 10th grade to probably my sophomore year in college, I was upset. I go to their website. I go to the fan websites.
Right.
I love Pearl Jam.
Now, did you see when you had front row center at Pearl Jam?
Mm-hmm.
Was this No Code?
It was actually the Yield tour.
Yield,
But
okay.
they were, because again, No Code and Yield came out pretty close together. No Code was 96 and Yield I think was 97. It may have been 98, but the cool thing and when I got to see that concert, and that'll come up, I won't go all into it, but they had all the Ticketmaster mess, so they hadn't played any big arenas or any, it was like impossible to see them. And then all of a sudden, I did get to see them, but yeah, No Code is just a beautiful album. I mean, just the first song, sometimes it's like, it's so delicate, and then it goes right into Hail Hail. There are songs on this album that, you will never hear as singles, but it has a really warm place in my heart, and it's one of my favorites, one of the more re-listenable Pearl Jam albums for me. So I'm happy to have Pearl Jam on Team Scott. Looking at my list, I don't think there's any other ones that you would even have. So now I can just put the ones I love the most and just keep going down. So I'm going to go with number 5 is going to be Cake, Fashion Nugget. We talk about Rage Against the Machine being a band that nobody else sounds like. Nobody sounds like Cake. I mean, the delivery on the vocals, you got the brass, you've got the beats. I mean, everyone knows The Distance. And then of course they have all sorts of singles that come after that. But taken as an album, I love it front to back. I mean, it's got I Will Survive, the cover. It's got Friend is a 4-letter word. It's got, what is it called? Race car yayas, or I can't remember the name. But I mean, the lyrics are hilarious, and just the delivery is so good. I could listen to this Cake album all day long. My daughter likes Cake. When she first heard, I think The Distance, she loved that, and she was like, "Hey, what was that one song? Let's play that again." And then I played some other ones for her. So, happy to have Cake, and yeah, Chris, did you liked Cake to an extent, right?
I liked Caked because you played it, and and the thing is, this was one of those things where I was like, yeah, this is yeah. I get it's fun.
It's fun. It's fresh. It's cool. It's not taking itself. See,
yeah.
This is the thing is why I feel like I had to balance what I listened to, because I got Pearl Jam No Code, where of course, he's like up here in my tree, like being all, moody. And then you got freaking Adam Duritz of Counting Crows, like, whining about.
Have you seen what he looks like now?
Yeah.
Doesn't even look
he looks
like
different. Well, because when he finally made the decision to like
get
a real haircut,
get rid of the dreadlocks.
He got rid of the dreadlocks, and he looks different.
Yeah.
There was a Counting Crows documentary that came out not long ago. It was interesting. It didn't blow me away as a documentary, but it was interesting. But so if you look at my list, I got Rage Against the Machine. I mean, it doesn't get any more self-serious and zero humor than Rage Against the Machine, Pearl Jam, freaking Counting Crows. These guys are all just emoting. And even Pinkerton. I mean, that one, it does have some sense of humor, but then Cake just lightens it up a little bit. Right. It's like, okay, let's just have some fun with the music. And so,
well, dude, your 5 picks are tough. So.
Dude, I mean, I love all these albums.
Right.
Now, I got Pinkerton, Evil Empire, Recovering the Satellites, No Code, and Fashion Nugget, all just on my pantheon of all-time favorite. Now, I actually love Counting Crows and Pearl Jam albums more than Evil Empire, but I knew there was no way you were taking them, and I thought maybe you might have Evil Empire on there. But you're now up for your 5th and 6th picks.
Correct. Now, this is my curveball of 96.
Oh,
I know you don't have this one. You can't laugh in my face because there's nothing to laugh about. So my 5th pick is going to be MXPX, Life in General. So this is just a great record. Came out November 19th of 1996. Moved to Bremerton. Their hit off of this was Chick Magnet. Today is in My Way is a great song. But this was like, what was crazy? Like it's like 18 songs or something, and it's like a 30-some minute, right. album, whatever. But I remember, I listen to this all the time. Even today, it's a great record. They did a great job, and I think they really broke the mold because they had prior albums to this. They were still super young. Like they were super young when they started and got signed by Tooth and Nail, but then by this point they kind of moved in and they kind of came like a household name.
Yeah.
Within this album. So Life in General, if any of you ever listened to it, check out MXPX Life in General. It is a really, really good album.
I think they were the first like crossover band that I knew of, meaning that we knew them as a Christian band. They were on a Christian label, Tooth and Nail, but people I knew that weren't into Christian music,
oh no,
like respected them and knew them, and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, they, I would say, I mean, I don't know their full backstory, but I mean, I think at this point they were playing with all the California type of the Lagwagons and Descendants and stuff like that. They were kind of already hitting those type of tours. All right, so this might be a little bit also a shocker to you. This is gonna be my 6th pick, but I'm gonna pick "Friction Baby" by Better Than Ezra.
Wow.
Dude, why do you always laugh in my face? You are such a tool.
Better Than Ezra. All right.
Dude, better. Are you serious?
I like It Was Good Living With You. I know that.
Not in that album.
Well, that's why I'm laughing, because it's not even the big album.
Okay.
Name. All right.
Okay. Can I... Go ahead and take a dump.
No, I'm thinking of the Norm Macdonald joke when he's on doing Weekend Update. He's like this week number 2 on the charts is Better Than Ezra, and he's like just barely beaten out by the number 1 Ezra. Which is so stupid. It's like so stupid. All right, I'm sorry that I laughed at Better Than Ezra.
Right.
I tried not to.
All right, well, anyway.
I'm not saying it's a bad pick.
Okay.
But let's go.
Let's just laugh. Okay, so anyway, Friction Baby, this is the kind that the album after that one you just referred to.
Right.
But this has King of New Orleans, Desperately Wanting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So,
okay.
And then also has Scared Are You. So this came out August 13th, 1996. I remember hearing Desperately Waiting a lot on the radio, and then I went and I picked it up, and I really liked it. And I liked their other album prior as well. So did see them at the Boathouse one time, which was cool. I thought they were a very, very good band. Like I said, this wasn't like I had a poster on them on my wall or dude, you're still laughing, or like had a shirt. But I will say, like they put out some good records.
No,
and this was one of them.
No, they did. I mean, and what I like about Better Than Ezra, I would also put like Collective Soul in this category and some other bands like that were, you're right in the heart of like kind of what I was talking about with all these grunge bands, these, there was the new metal was starting to happen.
Right.
And these guys were just making cool songs like Toad the Wet Sprocket or something.
What I think is interesting is in this time of like 95, 96, 97, in that time frame, there was this big pull of bands like Counting Crows, Live.
Yeah.
I just blanked what I was going to say, but my point, like Matchbox 20, there's like all these like bands that are becoming very, very popular. They're like
Gin Blossoms.
Right. Oh, heck yeah. So they're, what are they, alternative? Are they rock, or what are they? But they're just putting out good music.
I think there is a space for, because look, Korn, Rage Against the Machine, these bands were making big splashes, even like some of the punk bands, but these aren't like songs these aren't just like pleasant to listen to songs, right? So then you get like Gin Blossoms and Better Than Ezra and Collective Soul, and it's like, oh, okay, these guys don't have to be super intense and like calling out the man and like, you want to go jump off a roof after you listen to their album.
Right.
It's this is just, I mean, Desperately Wanting is a great song.
Right.
So no, it's a good pick. When I laugh, I don't want you to think I'm laughing at you like, oh, you terrible pick. It's just, I don't know you like Better Than Ezra. Okay. So it's like, okay, cool.
Well,
so,
man, it's going to get real weird after this. So, all right. So, so my sixth pick out of Team Chris goes to Better Than Ezra, Friction Baby. Okay.
Friction Baby.
All right. So what do you got up next now?
Ooh. This is where it gets hard. Well, I still got 5 picks. So let's just go ahead and throw out my next one, which is going to be, I'm going to go with Car Button Cloth by the Lemonheads. Now, see, you can laugh at that one.
No, because I actually I did a good thing because I was like, I think he would actually.
Oh, you actually had that? Like,
no,
that's a possible...
but
okay.
I unlike last time we did this, you got it like, all right, well, if Chris gets this one, you'll do this one. No, I wrote, it's like, I think these are the albums that Scott would get.
I bet you could. I was thinking about this ahead of time. I was like, I think you would be able to, out of my top 10 pick, if you just sat down, you could probably pick at least half of them. Mm-hmm. Whereas with yours, I really didn't know. I was like, I wouldn't have known MXPX or obviously Better Than Ezra, or I wouldn't have thought of The Cure. I would have gotten probably your top 3. But yeah, Car Button Cloth. I love the Lemonheads. I actually got to go see the Lemonheads, which is, basically Evan Dando, a couple of years ago. It was the most crazy show I've ever seen in my life. It was the most entertaining show I've ever seen in my life. And that's saying something, because Homeboy came out, Evan Dando of the Lemonheads came out, I mean, altered. I mean, he was on something. He was like hammered, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is going to be terrible. The house is packed. He comes out, but then he just starts ripping them out. He starts playing off of It's a Shame About Ray, and he sounds amazing. I'm like, how is he doing this? Between every song, I'm thinking he's going to fall over. The band was getting mad at him. Everybody, like, seriously, like the drummer, I thought the drummer was going to walk off because he just kept, Evan was just doing whatever he wanted. He was talking. He wasn't making any sense. And you're like, this guy might need medical help. And then he'd be like, anyway, here's rudderless, and just kills it. Or like, here's my drug buddy, and awesome. Just kills it. Okay, so I love the Lemonheads. Car Button Cloth has songs like, what's it called? My Most Imaginary Friend. It's got I Lied About Being the Outdoor Type. It's called The Outdoor Type. It's just a great album. I still listen to it all the time, and I love it. So, and it defines 1996 and 97 for me as well.
That's kind of like whenever Steve came in from tech, he would, go to his room and trash it within, 3 minutes. But yeah. I remember I was sneaking in his room if he was asleep or whatever, and I just looked to see what music he brought home. Because Steve was just bringing home, like every time I would see what he was listening to, all that stuff. Yeah. And I remember he had the multiple Lemonheads CDs and stuff, and I remember checking that out.
Yeah, so. Steve was a Lemonheads guy. Probably how I heard about Lemonheads in the first place.
Good pick, man.
I love this. Sometimes I'm bad with song names because I just like to listen to albums. I don't flip around tracks. So it's like I could sing every song. No, nobody wants that, but I sometimes have a hard time like remembering the name of the song because I'm like I have to sing it because I know every song on this album.
We're the same way. I'm not just I'm gonna listen to this record because of this one song and another. No, I from start to finish.
I have to listen to start to finish. Right. The only time I deviate from that, I mean, yeah, I make playlists all the time, but even when I make my playlists, I don't just throw a bunch of songs onto a thing. I craft my own sort of sequencing of how I want to listen to it.
Right.
But for me, when people put out an album, it's intended to be listened to
correct
in that order. And I'll probably talk more about that when at some point, but I don't like to to me, it's like reading a book and just jumping around chapters, it's like, no, let's just listen to the whole thing. So then my number 7 pick, Man. Okay, I'm going to go with, I got to keep it real and go with To the Faithfully Departed by the Cranberries.
Okay.
Cranberries, one of my favorite bands. This album, slept on a little bit, had the tape of this. Listen to this in the car all the time. Actually, Aaron and I used to listen to it all the time. This is one tape that we like both bonded on and like really both loved. So it had Hollywood and Salvation were like the big 1-2 punch of this album that started off. And then it has like, softer songs like War Child. My favorite on the album is called The Rebels. Great song. If you're curious, if you're somebody that likes the Cranberries or you're Cranberry curious, maybe you know the big hits Linger, Zombie, some of those. Check out To the Faithfully Departed and like check out The Rebels. It's a great song. Or just play it front to back like I said you should. So that's what I'm taking as my number 7 is the Cranberries.
All right. So I have now 7 and 8, and I think you might have this one that I'm betting.
Okay.
And maybe and I just assumed, but my 7th pick for Team Chris is going to be As Good as Dead by Local H.
Oh, great pick. I didn't have it.
I thought maybe you would. Okay, so
just because there's so many albums I love.
Correct.
If this was any other year, I mean, dude, Eddie Vedder,
dude,
just great.
Local H. This shocked me so much because I mean this came out April 16, 1996. I remember still being in high school, and I remember I heard I think it was Bound to the Floor was maybe
had to be right.
Maybe was their thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I liked it. And then I saw it was only 2 people. It was a drummer and a guitarist.
Bassist, just a guitarist and a drummer. Yeah.
So then I remember I still bought tapes at this point. I wasn't a CD guy. I was a tape and CD guy, but I went and got the tape. And then I was like, oh my gosh, this is a really, really grungy. It was kind of fun. It definitely, I would say this. I was like, I kind of feel like it's heavily influenced by like a Nirvana, of course, but man, Eddie Vedder, that song is so good, and Lovey Dovey.
Yeah,
that's a great song.
Good call.
So anyway, Local H, I think Good as Dead. That was something that I picked up.
Well, they were a fun band that you could say was in the grunge scene, grunge movement, but was cleaner and was so tight.
Yeah, they were.
Their songs were so tight, and obviously 2 guys.
Yep.
So it's almost like having a rhythm section. The tightness of that, but without the bass and just the guitar.
Yeah.
Excellent call, and could have easily landed in my top 10.
All right. And then this is a fun pick. So my 8th pick is going to be Turn the Radio Off by Real Big Fish.
Oh, okay.
So this is why I love this song. Is I remember being at college and like BJ always ripping, on his guitar, ripping a Real Big Fish riff. But yeah, Sellout was great.
Did this have beer on it?
Yeah, it had beer. So,
which we ripped off.
100%.
And I didn't realize that till later.
Oh, that was BJ. I thought BJ was like this, like, oh, he put this really great. Dude,
the first time I heard beer after we had been playing, gosh, what was the name of the song?
I don't know what we named.
Chance.
It was Chance.
Yeah, Chance.
So pretty much BJ ripped off Real Big Fish. And we're like, man, you're so good, BJ. Because I love the riff and then Mike had a tight bass line.
Mike had a tight bass line. But it is pretty much note for note. Now, in defense of BJ, well, I would say and us, but we didn't know, at least I hadn't heard the song. It's a pretty classic like ska sound. I mean, it's there are other songs that sound like it, but yeah.
But with this, I'm not, like I said, a big ska person. There is albums that I like that are ska, and because they're talented. Real Big Fish is talented. Their guitar work, bass line, their horn work, the drumming, all that stuff. But this had Sellout, Trendy, Beer, Everything Sucks. It's a fun album to put on, but coming out in August 13th to 1996, Real Big Fish is pretty sick. And so I figured, that'd be a good pickup just to say I have. Because it's a good record.
Well, and it's very 1996.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
And that's where I don't think people will ever know unless you lived through it. The popularity. I've never seen any genre get so hot and then disappear.
But the thing is, this is what I dislike about it is because there were the Boston's, there was Real Big Fish. I like to say Ferris. I thought they're pretty different, but there was this mass thing of like, oh, everyone's gonna try to do it because all I gotta do is do this up riff, and then have
what was so cool about ska was pick it up,
Yeah,
but what was fun about ska, and this is what people don't understand, okay? You're 18, 19, 20. You want to be in a band. There's a million bands. How do you differentiate yourself? Okay, well, you know what? I can do this ska thing, right? But then here's what was great. Get people that normally would never be in a band. We're talking about the music nerds. We're talking about they were in band and they played the trumpet or they played the saxophone or they played the trombone. All of a sudden, hey man, we need you. So you had a lot of like guys that would have never thought they'd be in a band all of a sudden making up a brass section. And it created a really cool dynamic with a lot of these bands. Certainly at Liberty, when we were playing, there were plenty of, Coco Beware. The Falwell ska? I don't know. Mike Mixon's band, whoever that was. I can't remember.
Mike Mixon's band was Coco Beware.
Oh, my bad. That was Coco Beware. But then Eric played on it. But there were ska bands that would pop up. And then was Dwayne Agard like in? Because I remember one time they played with somebody and they called the brass section the Fat Little Vampires, which was like a kind of, I think, a nod to the Brave Little Toaster a little bit.
Dude, I have such a man.
I'm ringing some bells.
Dwayne played bass.
Yeah, but then he also he played bass. But who played? Oh, BJ's roommate Corey, maybe.
Take on it.
Anyway, you know what? When we do the Brave Little Toaster oral history, we have to like remember all these bands.
Okay. All right.
Because Dwayne played bass. Why do I have the memory of him playing?
Because he played bass in a band called Ben Yehuda. Ben Yehuda.
Yeah.
Gosh, man, my memory's trash, man.
No, dude. Okay.
Concussions.
As you already mentioned, it was 30 years ago. So we've had 30 years of putting stuff into our brain, and not everything is retained.
I will say this is what I wouldn't mind doing this like future episode if you allow it, is to kind of do like a ska episode, because
100%.
The one thing is what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to talk trash about people that did ska or love ska, but I would say that you can clearly see who was good and who was not.
Right.
Like, this is good music.
Right.
This is garbage.
Are you saying Squad 5-0 isn't a great band? Are you personally calling out Squad 5-0? I'm just kidding. I like Squad 5-0, but I do think I know the point that you're making. Let's just put it that way. Squad 5-0 just catching strays. Yeah. All right, man. Well, I think, am I up now?
So you are up. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you're up with your 8 and 9 now.
Okay. Yeah, because you took Local H and Real Big Fish. Boy, I honestly, part of this is I've been yapping because I'm trying to put this off because I've got 3 more picks and I've got like 6 more albums that I love from 1996. Oh, way more than 6. The stuff that I'm not going to be able to put on here is insane.
I have a question at the end. Can we talk about that?
We have to.
Okay, cool. Because I have a list of ones that I know that I'm leaving off.
It is really, really hard. And I'm going to leave off this guy as much as I love it. And I'm going to go, now this is one that's going to surprise you, I think. And that is going to be Matchbox 20, Yourself or Someone Like You.
That is a surprise.
Yeah. That is probably what I would consider to be almost a guilty pleasure. Mm-hmm. I didn't really advertise that I like Matchbox 20, but that tape is unbelievable. It's got, just hit after hit after hit. The first single was Push. I Want to Push You Around. It had It's 3 a.m. It had It's Been a Long Day. Just every song on there is so catchy. It goes on and on and on from there. I put that one on, not even because of 96 was coming up, but I want to say a week or 2 ago, I was like, you know what I haven't heard in a while and I put that album on, and I had the tape back in the day, but I put it on in the car, and was just singing to my heart's content, you know,
Right.
and I'm like, this is a fabulous album. It's crazy to me that I'm putting this over some of the stuff I'm putting it over, but I got to keep it real. In 1996, I love this album. It's still good. I never listened to any more Matchbox 20 ever. You know, this isn't on my list, but like there were bands like this, like Tonic, was one of them. Sort of more, just almost like acoustic guitar driven. Not only acoustic, but just they weren't the heavy stuff that we were mostly listening to.
But that was the thing though, is at this time, like I said, there was that pool of Counting Crows, Dishwalla, Wallflowers, Matchbox 20. There's all these that they were good bands. They were, and that, I think this also, which I think was a very, very cool era of music, is there was metal, there was new metal, there was still the grunge rock, there was now the pop. Now there's this more of like polished, good music being written.
Yeah, these guys
by these bands.
These guys I'd put in like the Hootie and the Blowfish mold type category of like, man, we're just making good songs.
Right.
We're having a good time. We're not complaining about our childhood or trying to
There's no gimmick. I don't think
no.
Why I say there's a gimmick, because I think there are bands that have a gimmick.
Well, as great as Korn is, and Korn is great, you could say, I mean, there's 100%. A bit of a gimmick there. I mean, there's go down the list.
Right.
And there's a certain confidence about being a band that's just like, we're just going to make really good songs. And obviously Rob Thomas is really good at making songs, and that album is just really, really good. You know, 96, this is going to be a really long episode, but I don't care. It's 1996. Right. When we do 1991, maybe it won't be as long, or maybe it will. But again, just the abundance of riches of different types of music. So here's the thing. We're listing off albums here, but the number of singles and songs that are off of albums that came out that year, because I wanted to make sure I wasn't forgetting anything. And so I went to like a Spotify 1996 singles, and I'm just like, holy crap, this is the same year that you've got like, you know, guys like Busta Rhymes are coming out with hits. You got like Spice Girls. You've got, you know, was Bone Thugs and Harmony? No, they were before that. But just then there's country, there's huge country songs, there's huge rap, there's huge metal. It's just, it was like an explosion of music in all different sorts of genres. You did have ska, you did have punk. I feel like now, and this is where I think we were talking about this before the episode, of not sure if it's just, all right, we're old, or if it doesn't feel that way anymore with music. I'm sure there's good stuff out there, but again, it goes to the fact that there's so much stuff out there and anybody can listen to what they want to. Whereas back then you were much more limited.
Right.
So in a way it was like abundance of music, but it was also reined in to a point where, cause there was no streaming, nothing like that. So anyway, all right. So after the surprising Matchbox 20 pick, I've only got 2 left. This is insane. I'm going to go with The Day the Colors Died by Bloomsday. This one came out in 1996, and it is wonderful. We've talked about Bloomsday before. I think we talk about the EP a lot, but I had told Logan, because Logan loves the Bloomsday EP, and I think he's like shared it with some friends and stuff. Cool. I think we've talked about our goal on this podcast is one day to just spread the love, keep spreading the love of Bloomsday and get, you know, but this is the album we've talked about before that Chris and I bonded over. We used to play it every single night in our dorm room. When it was time to go to bed, we'd put this thing on. Blake Westcott's voice is amazing. This is an album ahead of its time. When you listen to it, it's almost, I will say it's almost like shoegazy. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not shoegaze, but I don't know where to really categorize it. It's its own thing. And I'm going to tell you the story of how I found this album. It was in 1996. We go to San Diego for a missions trip, myself and Eric and my sisters. And we're going to go down to Ensenada, Mexico for a week. But we spent a week in California. And man, the musical taste, I mean, they were so far advanced to anything that we knew about. like, cause we're here getting the scraps of whatever we can in Virginia Beach and trying to figure out what we like. They had a scene going on there, and Chris, they had a Christian music store unlike anything I'd ever seen before. It was like a huge record store. For us to find any like Christian music, you'd have to go like Heaven and Earth or something. And so you're looking at Stephen Curtis Chapman and Russ Taff, and then maybe you might see something that we would find interesting. I learned about Supertones out there. I learned about a bunch of bands. That's where I got the Etc. CD. So I go in this record store, and the guy's like, what kind of bands do you like? I don't remember what I told him. And he goes, you know who I think you would like? I think you'd like this band Bloomsday. This guy's voice is amazing. So we walk over, he pulls out the CD. He's like, trust me. I go, okay. Bought it, and the rest is history. Right. I was like, how'd that guy know? I don't know. But just go to YouTube, because it's not on Spotify. Listen to The Day the Colors Died, and then thank me later.
Yeah, that will be a pivotal point. And I think our life, if they're through this avenue of doing a record show, that if we're able to talk to Blake, and just basically, I'll probably punish him with questions.
I want to hear everything. I want to hear everything about how they got started. Correct. I want to understand why they didn't put out more music.
It's because also at this time, it was always a big deal, even back in the 90s. If you were a band from the West Coast, if you toured all the way to the East Coast, because touring back then was way different to what people think today. So, I mean, a lot of it was word of mouth. It was, you'd go to a record store or, a CD exchange or whatever, and you would see coming shows. If it was coming to, I remember going to a specific place, and you say, oh, they're coming to the Abyss. Oh, Two Skinny Jays is playing for the 85th time at Peabody's,
right,
or whatever. But the places where concerts are like, oh, they're having a concert at this place. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's going to be at the skate park.
Yeah,
that's how it was.
Park, yeah.
So for Bloomsday, I don't even know if they ever made it around the East Coast. Who knows?
No clue. Yeah. And I just don't feel like there's information out there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want there to be a Bloomsday deserves a bigger audience, period. It's not nostalgia, because there's definitely bands that we love, but you look back and be like, they're fine, but we love them because of the time period. But Bloomsday kicks so much butt.
If there's any way, I will tap into my 401k to literally be able to make copies, physical copies, for people to have. I would do it.
Yeah.
That's just from the kindness of my heart.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, Chris, I think you're now time to do 9 and 10, right?
I'm doing 9 and 10. You are going to laugh at my number 9.
I won't. I'm not going to laugh.
So, but the thing is, if you do laugh, now I know you're lying. Okay, but here we go. So, this is definitely, I would say, a shock, because I did really, really like this. And then I kind of went down a little bit of a side trail with this band. But this came out on January 23rd of 1996. It is Stabbing Westward.
Oh, yeah.
Wither, Blister, Burn, and Peel.
I thought about this one. This one's in the mix of...
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you didn't laugh in my face.
It couldn't be top 10, but no.
Okay.
I love Stabbing Westward.
How would you define...
It's industrial.
Industrial. Yeah. Okay. It is. I would say it's in industrial. Man, but these songs are so well crafted. They're very, very good. I don't believe. What do I have to do? Shame. This is a banger of a record. And granted,
Save Yourself on this, or that's, I cannot say. I don't know.
Is that? I'm trying to think if that's on Darker Days or not.
Okay, my bad.
But within this, Stabbing Westward was really, really good. And then a couple years later, I saw them at the Boathouse.
Nice.
I think it was me and Micah.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't there.
Okay. Sure. Well, what was crazy about this is that remember that band God Lives Underwater?
I was about to say.
So that's why we went.
I love God.
Right.
Did you buy that CD at that show?
No, I got it before.
Right. Wait, that didn't come out in 96, did it? Because it should be on here.
No. That was like I said. I think we saw them in 98.
Oh, so God Lives Underwater played with Stabbing Westward?
Mm-hmm. So I remember this specifically is because there was this opening band. This is at the Boathouse, RIP. And I remember this opening band was signed to a major label, and they were awful. And I was like, I'm not trying to be mean or anything. I'm not gonna say their name. It's like, you need to get off the stage now.
Yeah.
They were terrible. But then God's Lived Underwater played. But then Stabbing, and this is what off of the darker, I think it's Dark Days. I think that was their next album. That was off this tour, but they played a ton off of Weather Blister, Burn and Peel. But this was they're great live. They kind of fell out after their sophomore hit, whatever. But man, this was a really, really, really good album, and I really liked it. And for '96, this was not, like I said, I'm listening to heavier things. I'm listening to punk and some hardcore, but this was this industrial. It was heavy, super dark lyrics, but really, really liked it.
I think that goes back to the point of in '96, how many different genres were popping off that you didn't really hear much of. I think of our friend Katie, because she used to, I don't know why, but like, just to like kind of make fun of us listening to that, she'd be like, what do I have to do? like she used to always do that to be funny. Yeah. Stabbing Westward, excellent call. And it's a band you almost forget about sometimes. Just like God Lives Underwater. I'll just randomly forget about them for 5 years and then go, wait, I haven't listened to God Lives Underwater. And then you put it on, you're always happy you did. But same with Stabbing Westward. So
good deal.
All right. Your last pick.
My last pick, this might be a little bit weird one, but there was a band called Vision of Disorder, and their self-titled Vision Disorder came out October 26th, 1996. This was a hardcore band from the East Coast side. The big thing with them is that they're a hardcore band. This is kind of like the resurgence of hardcore. I know I talked a little bit about Mushmouth, but with like hardcore, like it was, in the late 80s, that was like the Youth Crew, and you got bands like Minor Threat and Youth of Today and all those things. And then the early 90s, it kind of got mixed up with a lot of metal and it kind of fell off. But I want to say around this time, around 95, 96, this was another big push of hardcore music. And VOD, I remember buying it. They had Element, which still of a kicker of a song, great vocal parts in that. Another song called Suffer was good, and then DTO. But VOD was, I got this, remember specifically when I was at college, got it at when bought it on CD, and I really listened to a lot of it. But just a very, very cool record. So that is my 10th pick.
Very nice. I don't think I know that. I don't think I know that one, but wow. All right. Coming in now for my number 10, and then we got to talk about stuff we didn't pick.
I cannot believe what I left off.
I can't believe what I left off either, and some of these I definitely could have had in my top 10. And I'm at number 10, and I'm making a gut call right now because I have to leave off so many of these ones I love. I got to keep it real. I got to go with Tiny Music by STP. Tiny Music from the Vatican Gift Shop had Love Pop Suicide. It had, oh man, this is where I go with song names. I blank on song names, but 7 Cage of Tigers. I remember, Love Pop Suicide. Did I say that? I think I might have said that. But I remember the first time hearing this, Brendan Skeffington had got the CD, and we were over at somebody's house. I don't even remember who. It might have been his house. And he's playing this. He's like, you got to hear this. You got to hear this. It's the new STP. And so now you got to keep in mind, Core had come out first, and
Purple
had a very specific sound. Purple came out and was like awesome. I mean, I got Purple. My dad actually bought me Purple. I remember we went to Costco and they were selling it, and it was Price Club at the time. And I was like, can I please get it? Yes. But then when this one came out, it was so different. I mean, his voice sounds different on every album, and their songs are different on every album. But I will say, as the years have gone on, this is probably my most re-listened to one. I put it on all the time. It's just got some great songs on it. And there's so many other ones I could have put in my top 10, but I couldn't leave STP off of this. And so there you go. STP, Tiny Music from the Vatican Gift Shop. So Chris, do you have all your 10 written down? You want to read back your 10, and then we'll put a graphic on the screen, and people can look at Team Scott and Team Chris and see which one they identify with.
All right. So Team Chris's draft from 1996, the top 10. Number 1 was Alice in Chains Unplugged. Number 2 was Goldfinger. Number 3 was Korn, Life is Peachy. Number 4 was The Cure, Wild Mood Swings. Number 5 was MXPX, Life in General. Number 6, Scott Laughed, Better Than Ezra, Friction Baby. Number 7, Local H, As Good as Dead. Number 8, I keep screwing that up. Real Big Fish, Turn the Radio Off. My number 9 was Stabbing Westward, Wither, Blister, Burn, and Peel. And my number 10 was Vision of Disorder, or they're commonly known as VOD, as Vision of Disorder was my number 10.
Okay.
And what is your...
Excellent top 10. Okay, my top 10 was Pinkerton by Weezer, Evil Empire by Rage Against the Machine, Recovering the Satellites by Counting Crows, No Code by Pearl Jam, Fashion Nugget by Cake, Car Button Cloth from the Lemonheads, To the Faithfully Departed by the Cranberries, Matchbox 20, Yourself for Someone Like You, Bloomsday, The Day the Colors Died, and then Stone Temple Pilots, Tiny Music from the Vatican Gift Shop. Okay, now, before we sign off, because this is already, I think, an hour plus, we got to talk about some of the stuff that was left off. Do you want to tell me some of the ones that didn't make your top 10 that you love? Okay.
So I left off from Outcast.
Oh, okay. That was Aqua.
No, this was, I guess it's ATL, Aliens.
Right.
How you say that? I left off Sponge, Wax Ecstatic.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
Sponge.
I love Sponge.
Yeah.
I love Rod and Pinata is my favorite, but this was a really, really good album. I remember getting this. So Sponge, Wax Ecstatic. I left off Texas is the Reason. Do You Know Who You Are?
Nice.
I left off Busta Rhymes, The Coming.
Oh, there you go.
Because in high school, man, this I probably say this is probably one of my last rap.
Yeah.
Rap albums.
This is as I was phasing out of, like,
I would say,
I didn't like it.
But dude, but Busta Rhymes, The Coming, his debut record was
real quick
sick.
on Busta Rhymes. We've known about Busta Rhymes for forever because he was in Leaders of the New School.
Correct.
He was then, of course, did some stuff with Tribe Called Quest.
Scenario.
So, but he really came on the scene with this album.
Right. I mean, this album was sick, but also he had probably one of the coolest music videos.
Yeah.
Ever.
With the was it Woo-Ha, Got You All in Check?
Yeah, it was pretty sick. And then this was the tough one that I really struggled with, but I left off Payable on Death Brown. Or POD Brown.
That's
I left that off. And I don't know why now looking at it, but I kind of know why.
I mean, for me, it was just because there are a couple of the songs that are just unbelievable. Brown, what's the name of the one?
Full Color.
Full Color. So good. We used to listen to that all the time.
Right.
But I can't say that I've re-listened to that album as a whole.
But the thing is why I didn't put on there is because I remember I didn't hear POD Brown probably till maybe clicking into like 97.
Yeah. Because they were another California band.
Once again, it was this thing where there was all these things. It was like happening over there.
All this stuff was happening, and we would find out about it way later.
Correct.
And the only reason we got some of that stuff sooner was because I was out there and learned about some bands. But
so those are the ones I left off. But.
Okay, well, these were there's a ton that I left off, but here's to me the ones that were really hard. If You're Feeling Sinister by Belle and Sebastian is like a top 3 Belle and Sebastian album for me. I love that band, but I don't associate them with 96 because I didn't learn about this album and this band until a few years later. The Sublime album, I mean, that came out in 96 too. And it's a classic. It's great. It didn't make my top 10.
This is not for me.
You're not a Sublime guy. Okay. No. Fair enough. I do
there's some good songs off of it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I did go back and kind of like try to listen to it as an album, and I love, Santeria and
Summertime.
Yeah. But it's kind of I don't want to talk bad about someone. I thought about having them on there. I didn't. Beck Odelay. I mean, there was a time where that was like my favorite album. I loved that album.
See, that's the one thought that I thought that was in your top 10.
It's weird that it's not, honestly. But as I kept looking at this, I'm going, it's very time stamped to that year. It was ahead of its time, but I don't ever listen to it. I used to listen to it back in from probably when it came out to like 2000 ish. And then I just kind of got tired of it. I was like, heard it, but monumental album. Love it. I had to leave off. So this is crazy that I left this off, was Bringing Down the Horse by the Wallflowers. I love that album. I just, when it came down to, matter of fact, you can see here, I had it at number 8 at a certain point, but as I was looking at other ones, I was going, I love that Wallflowers album, but it's just not still top 10 for me. Okay. And I'll just rattle off the last few ones. Title by Fiona Apple. Great album. Could have made it. 5 Hour Frenzy, our newest album ever. Great. And then, Tool, Enema. I really liked that back in the day, but I just it's not as good for me as what I had in my top 10. So there's at one point I had 25 listed, so there are more, but I feel good about my team, and we're gonna do the voting thing again. So let us know which one you more identify with. I'm sure that there's literally nobody out there other than maybe like people we knew like Micah or Adam or Mike Jones that know every single one of these. I'm sure there are a lot of albums that you have heard of and a lot that you haven't heard of, but 1996, man, we did it 30 freaking years ago. It's unbelievable.
It's bonkers, man. So, man.
Well, thank you for watching and listening. As always, we are on YouTube. That's probably the preferred way you should consume, but we're also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all that good stuff. So, Chris, we did it.
Yeah, man.
Love you, buddy.
Love you too, man. 96.
96.